For personality, you come to culture Smiley. For culture Smiley, have no different personality. For personality, you come to culture Smiley. For culture Smiley, have no different personality.
Alright, well, that was direct here on CoolLondon.com. Sadly, on a not a good note that I would like to speak to this guy about, but you know, you hear the things on the news about what's going on with the great Smiley Culture. So I'd like to talk to a friend of his that was, you know, a companion as well as a team member from back in the Saxon days, Mr. Tippa Irie.
Yes, sir. Bless Maddness. How are you, man?
Yeah, man, I'm all good, man. I mean, it's you know, last time I spoke to you was on a production level. We was talking about music, and then now it's like I call you up here to talk about another sad thing that's happened in the community. Yes. East and west of London. It's all hit us hard, this one.
Yeah, it's very tragic, you know. We've lost a dear friend, great, talented brother, you know what I mean, and sadly gone too soon, basically, you know what I mean, and it's really, you know, it's really hit all of the Saxon crew hard, and all, you know, obviously family and friends, you know what I mean, it's terrible.
Even people that didn't know him as a person, as David, you know, we knew him as Smiley Culture, the artist, and for what we knew of as a groundbreaker for reggae music, and, you know, crossing the borders that he did.
Yeah, I mean, he was, you know, one of the first, you know, brothers that, you know, we saw on Top of the Pops. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, you know, very good in the dance hall, very creative. Him and Asher Senator used to spar together on Saxon.
Just live a vibe, fam.
We'd like to go on just going to take this little time to introduce to you Mr. Smiley Culture and Asher Senator!
Warren MP, Warren China, Senator. Alright, the band, just come down, cause we're not loafing time. Scene? Yes. Somebody buy, somebody buy, somebody buy, somebody buy. 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 Keeping a dance in our area. 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 So now we need some PA and we must have some tuba. So come with a row and go look some entertaining. But before we do that, make we print up some poster. Your man with we regular print up Mr. Skanka. Skanka is a bad man that jack him on a mother. It's true, but check him and we have him under order. Don't check with that. Let's see what it is that's wrong. Easy culture, here it comes, pull yourself together. White money, white Asher. You go like looking the right. What is it? And then away, keeping a dance in our area. And we want to print up some water. Keeping a dance in our area. We need some PA and we must have some super. Your culture may have Dixie Peach phone number. Yes, but we can show you where you live round the corner. So what Dixie to surprise visitor. You're roughing up to come to a PA in our area. By now you should know. Me rank them up in a
you know, they were very, you know, they were the first ones to basically chat the fast style together, you know what I mean, on the mic, you know what I mean, they brought that out first around the sound, and, you know, and then me and Colonel came with Tippa Irie and the Colonel after that, and the others them that we done, you know what I mean, but Smiley was a pioneer, man, and, you know, he's definitely a great loss, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, again, for people that doesn't know him, you see the news and it hits you like, oh, a black artist from an 80s star that broke the national charts with what he did from his music, and and it's the way they put it across. For someone that doesn't know the character or the person himself, they say, you know, it's due to self-inflicted knife wounds during a drugs raid. I mean, I've checked the Facebook, the Twitter's been going crazy from since yesterday, saying, what? How can this be? What kind of story is this they're coming out with?
Well, I mean, obviously we got to obviously wait until, you know, the dust settles kind of thing, and, you know, whatever happened in Smiley's property comes to light, you know what I mean? So we're gonna have to wait until the inquest. We can't, you know, I don't want people to just start making judgments, saying this, saying that, and they're not sure of all the facts. So when we have all of the facts and all of the details, then we can really make a proper judgment. And I'm sure when it will all come out in the wash, as they say, you know. But the most important thing is that we have to make them know that they have to let us know what really happened and what really went on, because that's one of our pioneers that's gone. And you know, and the way he's gone, if you know the person and the character, you know, we find it very hard that he would take his own life, you know. So from our point of view, you know, we would definitely have to, you know, wait and find out, and then we can all judge, you know. But if there is any foul play, people then that are responsible, they get brought to justice.
I mean, how old was he?
Smiley was 48 years old, I believe. Yeah, he's 48. So it's, still a young guy, you know what I mean? Still, you know, had a lot to live for, you know what I mean? So it's a very tragic what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to some artists yesterday as well, other artists, and they've said that one artist said that he'd done a show with Smiley at New Year's, and he said he didn't seem himself. He was a bit worse for wear. Maybe it was run down. I don't know what it is, or life has taken its toll on him.
Well, people have ups and downs in life, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, we all go through things and we all experience things. We all have good days and bad days, you know what I mean? So who knows? Maybe you saw him and he weren't feeling himself that day. I saw him about a month ago and he was fine, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, as far as I know, the brother was in good spirits. Obviously, he was going through what he was going through, but at the end of the day, you know, I still think it's a bit much for him to want to take his own life. But yeah, I don't fully know the ins and outs of everything, what was going on and whatever, so I can't really comment. But what we have to do really is to highlight to people what the brother has achieved and did achieve, and what he was part of a scene that was global and which was huge. And Saxon, you know, it was kind of like an academy for entertainment, you know what I mean?
Smiley Culture, the lyrics designer, me flash it on the cockney, even though me's not a East Ender, and all them dip on it, sweeter than that culture, you don't sound like a pretender. Anytime you feel like putting out a mic and turning into a blagger, you've got the boys, they're the separate boys, it's more money, less blagger. Just say the word in a night, drop out of a million to get a quarter. Me just tell them, take a fool and back off, I man is a hustler. And before me forget my culture, out to my Bible, me read that chapter. From Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, from Deuteronomy to Jeremiah. Yes, Judges, Samuel's Chronicles, Amos, Daniel, and Jonah. Two Psalms, Proverbs, Timothy, Titus, Hebrews, Roman, and Ezra. One, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Corinthians, along with Joshua. Limitations, Thessalonian, Revelation, you know, at the end of Scripture. But when me reach the summit, just start all over. As time go past, the end getting nearer. And as it get nearer, we can see it clearer. So honor your mother, your father, help your brother, and love your sister. And so that when Jah come, your days will be longer. So as me always used to hear me granny say to me mother, you never see the fire without the smoke, and the smoke without the fire. Girl, if a man tell you say you want him love you, no say is a lie. Shana shan bulla bull, iya wa oh.
Smiley was one of the brothers that helped to, you know, make it what it was, you know what I mean? Along with Maxi Priest and Levi and all the other artists, along with myself, you know. So
going back to the 80s and the Saxon sound, because to me that's the most relevant sound out there. Back in the day, you know, you've heard samples that's come from sound system clashes from yourselves, and including the Saxon sound. When did he actually come through it? So how was you young at the age, you know, to see this guy come through?
Yeah, well, he was, you know, well, I mean, Smiley started on a sound called Buchanan, which was over the Wandsworth side, Battersea side of London, you know what I mean? And, you know, back in the days, as a little entertainer myself, all we wanted to do was go on mic, you know, and entertain people and try to further our careers. And Smiley, from what I could see of him and Asher, they were the same, you know. Wherever there was a good dance going on, they would turn up and they would entertain the people. And that's what Smiley, that's why he was always at Saxon dances, because, you know, there was always a good crowd there, always other DJs that you could learn from as well, you know what I mean? Because we all learned from each other. You know, if somebody created something that was unique, we'd all do a lyric around that melody and that style. And Smiley was one of the leaders creating styles, you know what I mean, that all of us could follow, you know what I mean. So he's going to be sadly missed.
I mean, the style that he came with the Cockney translation, basically that, you know, bridging the gaps between how so West Indian, Caribbean people spoke to the English and the Cockney slang.
11-10-9-8-7-6-5 4 3 2 1. It's I Smiley Culture with the mic in my hand. Me come to teach you right, and not the wrong in the Cockney translation. Cockney is not a language, it is only a slang, and was originated, so in England. The first place it was used was over East London. It was respect for the different style pronunciation, but it wasn't really used by any man. It's strictly con man, also they villain, but you may pull up of lyrics and education. Right, you know you are gonna get a little translation. Cockney has names that carry on until boy. We have names like Winston, Lloyd and Leroy. We ball out yo while Cockney say oi. What Cockney call a jack, we call a blue boy. Say Cockney have nights while we have spar. Say Cockney live in a drum while we live in a yard. Say we get yam while Cockney get captured. Say Cockney say gabna with the big boat, yeah. You know the Cockney translation.
I mean, obviously, you know, we used to call Smiley Arthur Daly, you know what I mean? You know, I don't know if you remember the show Minder, you know what I mean? You know, Smiley was our little Arthur Daly. So I mean, at the end of the day, you know, growing up in London, traveling all over London with the sound and wherever, you know, you pick up ideas, and you know, and obviously being in the East End, it's a slang. So we used to talk about things, what we saw and what we experienced in London, growing up in London, and going to the east side of London and hearing people talk Cockney, and being that our parents are from the Caribbean. You know, when you're at home speaking to your mum and dad, speaking Jamaican patois, and when you're out, you know, you can't speak like that to Ron Tom down the road, you know what I mean? You got to speak to him in proper English, or speak to him in a language that he can understand. And basically Smiley just put the two together, which I think was pretty, you know, smart and clever.
Hear them, fashion, Smiley Culture, origination. But first let me tell you more about the Cockney, who live comfortably and of them yap by the sea. And when it comes to money, most of them are plenty, but when them spend it in the bookie, lose it all on the dogs or on the GGs, or paying off to them bribes to the Sweeney. So them not gonna do no time for no armed robbery or catching anything that fell off the back of a lorry. Slambama, Jamana, hear them fashana, me stronger, me longer, me at the mic stanna. More time in a dance, me chat, pan a sound, but sometimes me shake out and leave me hometown. And that's when me travel at East London, where I have to speak as a different man, so that the Cockney can understand. So black man and white man, hear them fashion. Cockney say scarpa, we scatter. Cockney say rabbit, we chatter. We say bleach, Cockney knock hard. Cockney say terrific, we say walk on. No pawns of musician, cause this is the thing called Slam Bam Jam and Smiley Culture original.
And it worked, you know what I mean? So, you know, you got to take your hat off to the brother, you know?
Sure, I mean, I find it hard. I mean, it's like, you know, for artists that's made such groundbreaking work in the industry for black music on the general, it's like, you know, why does it have to take someone to pass away for then now you go on Facebook now, guarantee you see on most people's status is a YouTube footage of Smiley, and it's like, you know, it takes, why does it always have to come to this when someone has to pass away?
Unfortunately, that's, you know, people are fickle, you know, the powers that be, if you like, they know the talent is there, you know. I mean, I've had hits with the Black Eyed Peas, and which got into, you know, top 10 all over the world. But if I go into a record company, you know, or a major, they're not seeing that, oh my God, you know, Tippa Irie, he's had Hello Darling in the 80s, he's had #1 tunes in the 90s, he's had, you know, now he's still here after all this time with doing tunes with the Black Eyed Peas and artists like that. You know what, we need to, you know, give this brother his dues, give him a proper, you know, deal or proper, you know, so that, you know, and put him out there to the people, because it takes money to do that, you know what I mean? And obviously if you ain't got that support and that funding and that backative, then you know you can make music till the cows come home. But if you know if you don't advertise that God's coming, then nobody ain't gonna go and see him. So you need to be accessible to the people, and you need funding to do that. And Smiley is a talented guy, and if he people choose their destiny in life, you know what I mean? And after a while, he didn't really want to, be an artist as such again, you know what I mean? He wanted to be more behind the scenes. So for me, you know what I mean, I'm just an artist through and through. That's what I'll be until I'm not here anymore, you know what I mean? Because I love performing, love going out there, entertaining people. But everybody's different. Everybody, chooses different courses.
What would be your fondest memory to say, I will always remember Smiley?
Well, it's got to be police officer, you know?
Every time I drive me car, police a stop me superstar. Through me drive a Fiat and a Mercedes where me lance, yeah. Some more time I'm gonna ease and down, say check some company. Them a tell produce insurance license and MOT, but me say police officer no give me producer. Police officer no bother give me producer. Police officer no give me producer. Police officer no bother give me producer. To everybody in the dance line I dedicate this style. Whether you are a breaker or you are informer, you could be a PCC idea. Inspector, me no charge for murder, penny to produce is where me charge for. So police officer no give me producer. Police officer no bother give me producer. Cause me a Smiley Culture used to drive up a land, yeah. I could see clear I was a black man, right?
You know, every time you play it, it makes you laugh, it makes you smile, because he was just talking about us as people and as how, we were treated back in the day by the law enforcement. Lo and behold, it's in the law, the law enforcement, in their hands, if you like, that brother has passed away. But every time I hear police officer, you know what I mean, it makes me smile, because, he mentioned places like People's Club in Paddington, and, those are the places where we kind of had our training ground, our learning curve and all of that, so it's got to be the tune that really made him successful, Well, me personally, I just send condolences, to all of Smiley's family, you know what I mean, because obviously they're the ones that are going to be really, really hurting right now. Merlin and people like that, his nephews that I know are very close to him, Carolyn and people like that. First of all, I just send, condolences out to them, and, we're just probably going to want people's support, when the inquest does come out, or what does begin, because I think there should be an independent inquest away from what the police, independent, I think, directly,